I'm officially super excited to release this haircut on YouTube because I am the first person in all of YouTube to do this haircut. I've searched YouTube and there is nobody out there who has done this haircut, so out of everybody in the entire world, I'm officially the first person to execute this haircut on YouTube. So, I'm very excited because my model has a ton of hair. Not just long, let me be clear. She has a ton of hair, a lot of it. And for any of you who have a ton of hair, you know that you go to the hairdresser, you get layers cut in, but your hair is so thick and heavy, it really doesn't do anything. It just hangs there with not a lot of style. And so, my model wanted to do something different. She's always had long hair, it's always been heavy, and so what we went in there and did is airy, soft layers throughout the interior of her hair, but we also executed a very airy, very edgy, cool looking movement type outline, right? Not just your average blunt outline, because that's kind of the heaviest outline you can cut into long, heavy hair. Let's just face it, it's the heaviest type of outline you can cut in any hair. But when you have a lot of hair, it's just a heavy outline, right? And so what we did is we created a very soft, edgy outline, very airy, so it makes the hair look like it's moving a lot more, so it's not just hanging there. So, for those of you who have a ton of hair, and you know who you are because, like I said, you go to the hairdresser, you leave, and you feel like your hair is still super heavy, then check out this video because this may be a cut you want to entertain just to try something new. Hey, if you don't like it, you just grow your hair back, right? If you want your hair heavy and long, just grow your hair back. But if you want to try something new, you can definitely try the soft, airy layers, long layers. You'll see that we took about 2 to 3 inches off the bottom, so the hair is still very long, but a lot lighter. So it's very long, but because we removed so much of the actual body, so much of the actual bulk of the hair, it's a lot lighter. So, check it out. So, here's the before of my model's haircut. As you can see, my model has really long hair. I mean, if you look at the length of the hair relative to where her shoulders are, her hair goes way past her shoulders. Now, my client has always had that super thick, long, heavy hair that does really nothing but fall down. Because it's so heavy, it doesn't really move, there's not a lot of movement, there's not a lot of airiness. You can also see that my model has long layers cut into her hair right now. And even with those long layers, because my model has so much hair, and it's so heavy that even with those long layers, the hair doesn't move very much. So she wanted to keep some length, but she wanted to have a more airy, a more moving, flowing type haircut. And so we could have gone in there and just done some traditional layers and it would have lightened it up for sure, but she's got traditional layers now and it's not very light. So what I wanted to do was go in there and create a soft, airy kind of moving, flowing, edgy outline with some very soft, airy layers in this long, thick, heavy hair. So, here is a quick look at what the haircut looked like at the end. And as you can see, the hair is a lot lighter, it has a lot more of an airy feel, the hair actually moves around, and as you can see, it's still quite long, it's still way below her shoulders. In fact, the hair is still quite a bit below the top of the back of the chair. So, let's dive into how I did this haircut. Created a soft, edgy, long layered, with a lot of movement type haircut. And if you know somebody or you are somebody who has a ton of hair, then this could be the perfect haircut for you. So the first thing that I did is I took a center section down the center back, dividing the hair from the left side to the right side. Now I'm taking 2 A-line sections and dropping the hair down so we can actually address the length of the hair. Alright, so now what I'm doing is I'm picking up a pinch full of hair and holding it in my fingers, and I'm slightly pulling the hair, lifting the hair away from the backrest. By lifting the hair a little bit, it starts to already give it a layered effect, which is going to make the outline look softer. And what I'm also doing is taking my scissors and I'm slicing down the body of the hair. That's going to remove a lot of the weight, a lot of the hair, and then I'm slowly just working my way down the hair shaft until I've reached the length that I want the new haircut to be. So as you can see here, I'm cutting about 2.5 to 3 inches off the outline, but what I'm doing again is I'm taking my scissors and I'm slicing down the hair, which removes a lot of the actual body of the hair. And as I get to where I want the outline, the new outline to be, I slowly start to close the scissors so that it cuts the hair right at the very last minute, creating the actual new outline and length. So now I'm just taking my next section, and as you can see, I'm combing it straight down, and I'm simply just doing the exact same thing. I'm grabbing a pinch full of hair, and I'm just using the previous section that I already cut as my guide. It's my new outline. It's the new length, and so I'm just getting a pinch full of hair, slicing through the hair to create that airy effect. You can see the hair's already a lot more airy, a lot more lighter, and we're just removing a ton of the actual bulk of the body of the hair. And I'm just going through slicing that hair down till it is cut at the same length as the previous section, which again is our guide to the new length for the new outline. So now I'm just taking my next section, dropping it down on the right side of the head, combing it down. Again, just going to do the same thing. I'm just going to take a pinch full of hair and go through and slice the outline in using the previous section as my guide. Now, one thing that I wanted to share is this technique that I'm doing is a very visual technique. So you're not just going to grab a pinch full of hair, start slicing, and expect the haircut to actually look good. You're going to grab a pinch full of hair, start slicing, take a peek at the hair, see how it looks. If it still looks heavy, grab another pinch full of hair, continue to keep slicing until you actually achieve the look that you want. So you'll notice throughout the haircut that I'm going to comb through the hair. I'm going to take my fingers and comb through the hair with my fingers, and I'm going to look and see how it's starting to turn out, and based off of what I see, I will keep addressing that particular part of the hair. If I'm not satisfied, then I will grab another pinch full of hair, start to remove a little bit more weight until I am satisfied. So I just wanted to throw that in there. This is a very visual technique. Yes, you can go through, take some sections, grab a pinch full of hair, start slicing through the hair, but if you're not actually visually looking at how it's turning out, it could end up quite a disaster at the end. So you always want to be visually taking a peek to make sure that it's looking good, to make sure you're achieving the actual effect that you're going for. Alright, so not a whole lot to explain here, just taking another section, combing it down, and doing the exact same thing, using the previous section as my guide, and basically just using the slicing technique to cut that outline in. so now it is time to do the soft, airy layers. And so basically I'm just taking a section in the center back, pulling the hair straight back, letting the outline fall out. You can see I'm kind of combing it down, making sure I don't cut the outline. I just spent all that time slicing out the outline. And now what I'm doing is I'm just taking my scissors and chipping out that massive corner of weight to lighten up the hair. I'm not cutting the hair bluntly. I'm chipping the hair so it creates a softer layer, a softer outline in the layer. And as you can see, it just kind of flows more airy. And with my model, as I mentioned before, having so much hair, the goal here was to create layers, but to do a soft, airy type layer. So you can see right here, again, I'm just taking my fingers and chipping that huge chunk of weight out so that I'm creating the layer, but also making it more airy. Alright, so now I'm just taking my next section over to the left. I'm going to over direct this section to the middle section that I just got done cutting, and I'm basically going to use that middle section as my guide to cut the layers. And I'm going to continue to work all the way around the head. So you'll notice that I'm going to cut the layers here in this section and then just continue to work all the way on the left side of the head till I get to the front of the face, and then I'll do the exact same thing on the right side. So now that I've completed the layers on the left side, I'm going to do the exact same thing on the right side. As you can see, I've got my section over directing it to the middle section, which was our very first section in the layers that we did, using that very first section as my guide and chipping those layers in. So we have come to the end of the haircut. As you can see, this haircut has so much more lightness to it versus the long, heavy, just laying straight, flat effect that it originally had. The hair moves, it's got a more lighter feel to it, a more airy feel to it. And if you happen to be somebody who just has a ton of hair, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You go to the hairdresser, you get it layered, you leave, and it still just feels so heavy, so weighted down. You may want to consider entertaining this airy, soft, layered effect haircut. So, I hope you guys like this video. If you have any questions, please feel free to put them down in the comment section below. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. And I want to thank you guys so very much again for watching.